Your Honor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Subharat Fern Sawetaman, a global engagement lead from the Office of Justice Innovation of the Thailand Institute of Justice. Today, I have the honor to serve as the Master of Ceremony for this event. First and foremost, I am delighted to welcome you to this remarkable event, Unlocking Innovation in Judicial Systems, Knowledge Exchange on Design Thinking in the Judiciary. Thank you for joining us today. I'd like to give a special warm welcome to the Laos People's Supreme Court delegation who traveled to be with us today in person, and all the participants joining us online from 11 countries. This event would not have been possible without the collaborative efforts of the Thai Court of Justice, the Thailand Institute of Justice, Lukit Group, U.S. Department of State's Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, and UNDP. Their unwavering dedication to launch the groundbreaking Justice by Design initiative in 2023 has brought together a wealth of knowledge, experience, and passion, and they are delighted to share with you all. Over the course of 1.5 days, you will learn how such an unconventional initiative like Justice by Design came about and how it was implemented. Case studies from the projects that came out of the initiative, as well as stories of people-centered justice from other countries, and a crash course to design thinking and how it can be replicated in your own judicial system. Now, I would like to invite Honorable Paupan Chobnamtan, Deputy Secretary of the Office of the Judiciary, Thailand, to deliver a welcoming remark. Honorable Paupan Chobnamtan, please, you have the floor.
Good morning สวัสดีครับผมเผ่าพันธุ์ชอบน้ำตาลนะรองเลขาธิการสำนักงานศาลยุติธรรมเป็นตัวแทนของสำนักงานศาลยุติธรรมนะครับยินดีต้อนรับทุกท่านนะมาสู่กิจกรรมในวันนี้นะครับในวันนี้ตามที่ท่านได้ฟังไปแล้วเรากำลังจะมาพูดถึงสิ่งหนึ่งที่เรียกว่าแนวทางการพัฒนาภายใต้แนวคิดหรือหลักเรื่องของการใช้ประชาชนเป็นศูนย์กลางนะฮะซึ่งเรื่องการใช้ประชาชนเป็นศูนย์กลางผมคิดว่านานาประเทศก็ใช้แนวทางนี้นะฮะใช้ในทุกวงการนะฮะในวงการของธุรกิจเราอาจจะเรียกเป็นว่าเป็นลูกค้าเป็นศูนย์กลางใช่ไหมฮะเป็น customer centric นะฮะซึ่งก็จะมีการนำประสบการณ์ของลูกค้ามาพัฒนาสินค้าบริการต่างๆขององค์กรธุรกิจนั้นแต่พอเราปรับมาเป็นภาคของราชการซึ่งเป็นเรื่องบริการสาธารณะเนี่ยเราก็ไม่ได้เรียกคนที่มารับบริการว่าเป็นลูกค้าก็ใช้คำที่มันกว้างขวางขึ้นคือใช้ประชาชนเป็นศูนย์กลางก็จะมีวิธีการที่จะ implement อีกมุมมองหนึ่งนะฮะยิ่งมาอยู่ในกระบวนการยุติธรรมการ implement เรื่องประชาชนเป็นศูนย์กลางก็ท้าทายเข้าไปอีกนะฮะเพราะว่าเราไม่ได้ทำสินค้าเราไม่ได้ทำบริการอย่างธุรกิจนะฮะ product ของกระบวนการยุติธรรมคือสิทธิเสรีภาพนะครับเราทำโครงการนี้มาตั้งแต่ปีที่แล้วนะได้รับความเรียกว่าสนับสนุนเป็นอย่างดีนะจากทางUNDP และเครือข่ายต้องถือโอกาสคุณนะครับทาง UNDP แล้วก็เครือข่ายของท่านนะที่เล็งเห็นนะครับความสำคัญของกิจกรรมโครงการของสำนักงานธรรมนะในเรื่องของการที่จะ implement แนวคิด people centric นะเราทำโปรเจกต์Justice by Design ตั้งแต่ปีที่แล้วนะครับต่อเนื่องมาถึงปีนี้ก็ได้รับความสนับสนุนจาก UNDP และเครือข่ายนะครับแล้วก็ได้รับความร่วมมือนะร่วมเป็นคู่คิดนะจาก TIJ นะครับช่วยเราคิดมาตั้งแต่ต้นนะ TIJ เนี่ยพูดถึง People Center Justice นี่ก็เรียกว่าเป็นมือหนึ่งนะฮะก็ต้องขอบคุณและต้องขอบคุณมากๆเลยสำหรับบริษัทลูกคิดอีกครั้งหนึ่งฮะที่ทั้งร่วมแรงร่วมใจนะฮะเอาวิธีการเอาแนวคิดเกี่ยวกับdesign thinking มาถ่ายทอดให้เรานะมาช่วยเราทำตั้งแต่วันแรก ปีที่แล้ว จนถึงวันนี้ก็ยังช่วยกันทำช่วยกันคิดนะเป็นเรื่องของการร่วมแรงร่วมใจกันอย่างแท้จริงผมขอถือโอกาสนี้นะครับต้อนรับทุกท่านนะครับทั้งที่เป็นผู้แทนที่เป็นท่านผู้พิพากษาจากศาลต่างประเทศหลายๆประเทศฮะคงกล่าวนามไม่หมดต้องขออภัยด้วยแล้วก็ต้อนรับอย่างจริงใจนะฮะและคิดว่าท่านจะได้รับประสบการณ์ได้รับข้อมูลวันนี้เป็นกิจกรรมในการที่เราจะแลกเปลี่ยนนะสำนักงานศาลยุติธรรมขอถือโอกาสนี้แลกเปลี่ยนประสบการณ์กับทุกท่านนะฮะเราพร้อมที่จะพูดทุกเรื่องว่าเราบนเส้นทางของการ implement people centric เนี่ยนะฮะหรือประชาชนเป็นศูนย์กลางเราทำอะไรเราเจออะไรเราประสบปัญหาอะไรนะครับแล้วก็อยากจะฟังจากทุกท่านเหมือนกันนะว่าท่านมีข้อแนะนำข้อเสนอแนะอะไรนะฮะในภายใต้กระบวนการนี้การฟังเป็นเรื่องสำคัญฮะเราต้องรับฟังทุกๆคนนะฮะแล้วก็ต้องขอบคุณทุกท่านอีกครั้งหนึ่งนะครับยินดีต้อนรับครับสวัสดีครับ
Thank you very much for the warm welcoming remarks that highlights how Thai court recognizes the importance of people-centered justice approach. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Aparna Bantiat, Regional Advisor, Rule of Law, Security, and Human Rights from UNDP Bangkok Regional Hub to deliver a welcome speech. You have the floor, Ms. Aparna.
Good morning, everyone. Honorable judges, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It really is my great pleasure to welcome you all to this Unlocking Innovations in Judicial Systems Knowledge Exchange on design thinking in the judiciary. On behalf of the United Nations Development Program, I extend my warmest greetings to all participants joining us here in Bangkok, as well as those who are joining us online from across the region. We are here today, as we've heard from previous speakers as well, inspired by the successful implementation of the Justice by Design initiative in Thailand. This groundbreaking project, born from the collaboration between the Thai Court of Justice, the Thailand Institute of Justice, the KID Group, and UNDP, has really demonstrated the transformative power of design thinking and people-centered justice methodologies in reimagining judicial services. Last year, I understand around 60 participants, including judges, court officials, legal professionals, and citizens, have dedicated their time, expertise, and passion to the Justice by Design initiative. By actively engaging with justice seekers, they gained valuable insights into a range of issues that hinder their access to justice. Equipped with this understanding, the participants developed solutions that address these challenges head-on, harnessing technology to streamlining processes, improving accessibility, to simplifying legal languages, and redesigning court forms. And we'll hear a lot more about this throughout today and tomorrow. The dedication and commitment of these participants, coupled with the strong support from the Thailand Court of Justice, have made the Thai judicial system more user-friendly, efficient, and inclusive. Beyond Thailand, we see this collaboration really sets a good example for other countries seeking to enhance their courts' accessibility, efficiency, and public trust. By bringing together these diverse stakeholders, from judges to students, to co-create solutions, this initiative has really embodied the spirit of inclusive and participatory justice. I would like to take a moment to express sincere gratitude also to the U.S. Department of State's Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, INL, for their generous funding and support. The success of Justice by Design initiative would not have been possible without their commitment to advancing judicial integrity and promoting accessible and efficient people-centered justice systems worldwide. We are truly grateful for their partnership and shared vision as well. So over the next 2 days, we will have the opportunity to delve more into the stories. I think it was being mentioned, stories, challenges, and tangible results from this initiative. We will hear from participants, learn from the experiences of our partners across the region, and engage on hands-on workshop and learning how to apply this design thinking principles to judicial reform. We really are hoping that this is the start of a discussion around building also a community of practice, and UNDP through our GIN ASEAN, the Judicial Integrity ASEAN Network, is also very happy to have been part of this support. We believe that by facilitating this ongoing knowledge sharing, peer learning support, and collaborative project development, we really can unlock innovations in the judicial systems across the regions and achieve lasting change in the systems, but also mindsets and approaches to really deliver on the overall 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, including its Goal 16 on peaceful, just, and inclusive societies. Once again, I really extend my heartfelt thanks to all our partners, the Thai Court of Justice, the Thailand Institute of Justice, Lukid Group, as well as INL, for really their dedication to this transformative initiative. And I also really am grateful for the participation, both in Bangkok and online, as part of this important dialogue. So together, we look forward to embracing really the power of people-centered justice to deliver on the promise of the Sustainable Development Goals for justice systems that are accessible, efficient, and importantly, inclusive for all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Parna. Now I would like to invite Mr. Daniel A. Lam, Regional Law Enforcement Program Coordinator from U.S. Department of State's Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, INL, to deliver our last opening remarks for this morning. Please welcome Mr. Daniel. You have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, honorable judges, everyone. Dear esteemed colleagues, representing the Thailand Court of Justice, Thailand Institute of Justice, Lukid, and the United Nations Development Program, GIM ASEAN Advisory Group, distinguished participants, and honorable judges representing the multiple home countries. It is an honor to be here today. My name is Daniel Lam. I represent the United States Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, often known as INL. We are proud to partner with UNDP, the Thailand Court of Justice, Thailand Institute of Justice, and Lukid to support this two-day workshop that will allow for an exchange of innovative ideas and best practices for advancing people-centered justice principles and important applications within judicial context. I would like to take a minute to share the history and mission of INL. The Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Matters was created in 1978 to reduce drug trafficking in the United States from Latin America. INM's mission soon expanded beyond combating drugs to supporting stabilization efforts in the Balkans and to fighting corruption and transnational crime around the world. To reflect this expanding mission, INM was reestablished as the Bureau of International Narcotics Law Enforcement Affairs, INL, in 1995. Today, INL uses a wide range of tools to counter crime, illegal drugs, and instability abroad, including foreign assistance, bilateral diplomacy, multilateral engagement, and reporting, sanctions, and rewards. INL has two complementary competencies: helping partner governments assess, build, reform, and sustain competent and legitimate criminal justice systems, developing and implementing the architecture necessary for international drug control and cross-border law enforcement cooperation. INL works with partner nations, international and regional organizations, non-governmental organizations, United States federal, state, and local criminal justice entities to achieve our mission, all of which brings us here to today. The United States would like to recognize your partnership as you represent your nation's willingness to promote greater transparency, accountability, and integrity in your legal framework. By attending this workshop, it signals your commitment to advance rule of law efforts and willingness to maintain a strong, reliable, and transparent justice system by seeking innovative ways to allow every citizen equal access and to a fair, impartial ruling. will continue to support these types of engagements as we collectively seek to advance judicial efforts in promoting the equitable application of the rule of law, expanding access to improved public services for everyone, namely the vulnerable, disadvantaged, and at-risk communities at the national and subnational levels. On behalf of INL, the United States Department of State, I would like to extend my appreciation to the honorable participants, speakers, and the United Nations organizers for their valuable contributions in making this workshop successful. Your presence signifies a commitment to seek justice for all individuals and unwavering support for the rule of law. I would like to thank you for sharing your time and engaging in this important topic. I wish you all success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dano. This program is part of the Judicial Integrity Network, or the JIN ASEAN. Please allow me to show a short video introducing you to the JIN ASEAN program.
The Judicial Integrity Network is committed to empowering independent judiciaries in ASEAN, serving as the drivers of change and nurturing a culture of integrity. JIN ASEAN provides a safe and accessible platform to strengthen independence, improve the rule of law, and increase public trust in the justice system. Comprising over 3,000 judges and legal experts, JIN ASEAN is a dynamic catalyst, facilitating South-to-South exchange and accelerating cost-effective reforms. We bring legal practitioners from ASEAN and neighboring countries together to solve the judiciary's most pressing challenges. At JIN ASEAN, we embrace a whole-of-a-society approach involving governments, civil society, and academia to find common solutions to complex problems by adopting a people-centered perspective and utilizing design thinking methodologies. We engage stakeholders in future-thinking workshops to co-design creative solutions that cater to people's needs, highlighting the power of collaboration and empathy in making justice inclusive. Our groundbreaking initiatives have provided more accessible services for vulnerable groups, promoting justice for all. Accountability, independence, and transparency are priorities at JIN ASEAN. We continue to shape the future of the judicial community, leaving a legacy of excellence, innovation, and collaboration.
Thank you. Now, let's begin with our first session today. The first session, Behind Justice by Design, will illustrate the story behind the design, planning, and implementation of the Justice by Design Thailand to improve access to justice with a people-centered approach. Please allow me to invite Honorable Grai Aranyarat, Judge of the Office of the President of the Supreme Court, and Ms. May Sipatanaskun, CEO and founder of Lookit, who are the brains behind the initiative, to share their stories with all of you. Please welcome them with a round of applause. Thank you.
Let me check a little bit. Okay. Let's go. All right.
All right, welcome to this special event, and good morning for to those who are joining us from other countries by Zoom, and good morning to the participants in this meeting room. Thank you for coming today. And today, I think we have the judges from the judges and the representative from the judiciary around the world, across region, joining us today. So it's a greatest honor for the Court of Justice of Thailand to host this special event. And I think we are even more happy to learn that our Justice by Design projects sparks the inspiration across the region beyond the border of Thailand. Because that means everyone here, whether you are joining in person or by Zoom, we are heading towards the same goal in the same direction, which is to build a more people-centered judiciary for people in every corner of the world, right? And today we are going to share why we created the Justice by Design project and how the Justice by Design project help promoting the access to justice and why it support the people-centered agenda. All right, can we turn to the slide, please? Oh, okay. All right. I have spent like more than a decade in Court of Justice, and I think the Court of Justice of Thailand, it is pretty similar to other public organizations in Thailand. I have noticed one thing, very important. When the Court of Justice, we want to design or provide the new services or the new processes for the people, we usually do one thing. It's similar to other public organizations. We usually form or appoint the committee, and that committee will be people inside the organization. You know, for the Court of Justice, we would have like the judges, a director of the court, and the court officer. They will work together and handle the design of the new services or the new processes. And there is no external entity or external people that would involve in this committee. This is like 90% of the time, it would be something like this, you know, and that's going to create a problem for the people because, you know, when you have like just the internal people designed for other people, it means that that product or that service would be designed by the people inside organization, and it's very nature of humans. You know, when they trying to design some services, they will not design something that make their life difficult or complicate their life, right? So the final result of the service or the product will sometimes it's create a lot of trouble to people using that service at the end. And, you know, I would like to give you the example, one example, which is pretty clear, and it is the court form. You know, the court form that we designed for the people. People, when they want to exercise their right in the court or they want to bring their case to the court, they have to fill in the court form, right? The court form is like the gatekeeper of the court. People have to fill in what they need and what they want the court to do, right? But if you look at the court form right now in Thailand, I think it's pretty difficult for average people to understand what they have to fill in, because there are a lot of like legal technical words and like legal jargon like in the court form. And people, when they could not fill in the court form by themselves, they could not self-litigate. They have to go to the lawyer, right? And they have to find some legal representation. And as far as I know, the lawyer fees today in Thailand is, you know, skyrocketing, and it's pretty expensive and sometimes too expensive for average people to afford the legal representation. So what they're gonna do next? The thing they're gonna do is, they just simply give up, because going to the lawyer is too expensive. They just and accept the injustice that they got at the time, because going to seeking for justice is too expensive. That's the problem. And actually, I have no idea what the people who designed the court form actually thought at the time. But in the old days, probably the reasons that the judges or the court officer who designed the court form, they probably think that using the legal technical word would help them, like, it would be easier for them to understand what the people need and what the people request for, or it could be easier for them to understand, like, how to apply the request to the law, and some just told us that probably it's because if they use an easy word or simple word, they're gonna lose their job because people can do it by themselves. But this is just a joke, But these problems, is like a reflection of the institution-centered mindset. They make it easier, make the court form to like accommodate the work process of the people inside the court. That's a problem because it's very difficult for people to fill in by themselves. And I think right now the Court of Justice of Thailand, we strongly aim for the shift in the mindset of people inside the organization. We're trying to shift the mindset from the institution-centered mindset to the people-centered mindset. We are trying to look from the viewpoint of the people, ordinary people. When they come to the court, they have to fill in the court form. How can we make it easier for them, something like that? Right? That's our goal. And if you look at today's service of the Court of Justice, you probably you still see a lot of services that is a reflection of the institution-centered mindset. But I think right now, change is in the air. We already start the change, and it's going to take time, probably like 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years to see the result. But at least today, we are pretty fortunate that, can I turn to the next slide, please? We are pretty fortunate because at least the policy of the president of the Supreme Court is pretty clear, and it is clear for at least for the past 3 years. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court in the year of 2021 to 2022, she prioritized the easy access to justice. This is 2023. The Chief Justice said he wants to elevate the judicial services by using the people-centered approach. And this year, the president of the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice, said she wants to build a more people-centric court. So that means the policy from the court executive is clear, and we are pretty fortunate. Why we are fortunate? Because in Thailand, we have a pretty unique characteristic of the office of the Supreme Court, president of the Supreme Court, because the Chief Justice in Thailand is changing every single year, each year, year by year. When the Chief Justice assumed the office, they're gonna stay like for 1 year, and then they're gonna step down, and the next one is gonna replace the office. And why I say we are fortunate, because the only thing we can do is just keeping our finger crossed and hope that the new Chief Justice gonna buy in the idea of people-centered. But so now we have the people-centered policy for 3 years in a row. So that means the Court of Justice of Thailand, we prioritize the people-centered idea for sure. But I think now we have the clear policy, but the next challenge is how to implement it. Can I go to the next slide? How can we implement the people-centered policy and make it reality, not just a slogan? You know, how can we implement those policies? It's pretty challenging thing, right? But after a bit of talking and discussing in the Court of Justice, in the Office of the Judiciary, we came to the idea that we agree that we need something more than just, you know, to understand what people really need. We need something more than putting a suggestion box or having a quick chat with people. But we need something like a full-on process. And this process is going to take time. We agree that we should rely on the design thinking tool. Okay, and design thinking is what is design thinking and how it works? Kun Mei will share with us in a couple of minutes ahead. But for now, we agree that we have to rely on the design thinking. Design thinking is key. So I went to my colleague from TIJ, and she recommended me to consult Kun Mei. And when we first talked, Kun Mei said that we have to firstly identify what are the pain points or what are the challenges that people coming to the court are facing today. You know, so we came back to the Court of Justice, and we had a serious meeting, and finally we broke down the idea of the challenges that the people are facing. And we conclude that right now, the challenges that we need to address by the design thinking process are these challenges. The first thing is the first challenge is a digital divide. We have like a digital gap within, you know, our services. Why? Because for the last couple of years, we have been trying to push a lot of technologies in the courtroom, right? We thought at the time that if we move everything online, it's going to be easier for the people to access to court service. But in reality, there is something like a twist, because there are still a lot of people in Thailand that could not even afford the technological devices. So they could not equally benefit from the online court services like others. So if we want to go further in the like digital electronic court, we have to address this challenge first. So we put the digital divide as our first challenge. And the second challenge is the costly legal representation. As I mentioned earlier, people come to the court, they have to fill in the court form, but they didn't understand what that legal technical term means. So they could not fill in the court form by themselves. They have to go to the legal representation, pay for the excessive lawyer fees, something like that. And sometimes they just give up, like I said earlier. So that means the court form it blocked people from accessing to justice. So we set the costly legal representation as our second challenge that we need to address by the design thinking process. And the third challenge is the time-consuming process. And this thing is huge because it is the thing that people complain the most when coming to the court. You know, some people said when they got the court subpoena and they get the subpoena, and the subpoena state that they have to show up at the court on March 20, like 9 a.m., something like that. And when they show up at the court, they found that there are 20 different cases lined up for the 9 a.m. session. And they have to wait and they have no idea when their cases would be actually called. So the time-consuming process is the thing that we need to find the solution for it. Okay, but actually we also have other challenges and that we want to address, but I don't have much time to get into the details. And we will have the participants in the Justice by Design project that will share with us what we have been through throughout the 8 weeks of the project. And the other challenges that we have, like the elderly unfriendly court and the unreachable court, that we really want to use the design thinking to tackle with. And then after we identify the challenges that people coming to the court are facing,
Yeah, so we have all these different challenges. that we have
these are
mentioned.
challenges that we're like
Making sure that the courts
Yeah.
are more efficient, making sure that will reduce digital gaps. So these are the different challenges that was actually tackled during the Justice by Design incubation based here in Bangkok last year. So we have like 6 teams working on these different challenges, and they all come up with different solutions.
Yeah, and we let the participants in the Justice by Design projects to choose to pick up the challenge that they want to pursue or want to find a solution to. All right. After we clearly identify what are our challenges in terms of access to justice, we have to think of the team that would handle the design thinking project. And we decide that we thought that we discussed and we agree that why didn't we like let the people themselves participate in this project and let them tell their story, let them tell their journey experience, let them share with us and with other participants, and let them find the solutions to the problem by themselves, because the solution at the end would come like directly from people themselves, So that's why the Justice by Design was born. And that is when we start our project. We start calling for the application for to the public, and we aim for like 42 participants. But in reality, we got a very good feedback because there are almost like 200 apps, 200 people that really want to involve this process and really want to join us in the design thinking project.
And
We got a very good feedback.
And they are actually from not just in Bangkok,
Yeah.
but some people actually travel because we meet every Saturdays, and they actually travel on a weekly basis from different parts of the countries to actually meet us every Saturday morning. So the enthusiasm and the participation was very, very impressive.
It's pretty impressive because they came from like Chiang Mai, they came from Koh Samui, pretty far, but they really want to join us in this project. Well, we are so grateful for them that they joined. And at that time, I remember that we had the applicants from different sectors, not just in the justice sector, but outside of the justice sector as well. We have like students, we have the
younger ones, like
younger ones,
students,
and even the air hostess, right?
air
the cabin
stewardess.
crew want to join us, and we have like people also inside the justice sector as well. The judges, the prosecutor, the lawyers, the court officer. They want to join this project and want to redesign the court service by the design thinking process. So we have to select like 42 participants, and we finally select 42 participants, and we try to like looking for people from different background, so that we can broaden our like perspective, get a lot of like information from every corner. And at last we got like 42 participants, and we divide them in 6 groups, and each group has 6 members, or 6 to 7 members, and we let them choose the challenge that we set, what challenge that they wanna solve, they wanna working on. So that's why it's all start, and then after this, it's gonna be like what we have been through the 8 weeks of the design thinking project of the Justice by Design. I would like to turn to Kun May. Could you please share with us what we have been through the 8 weeks?
Yeah, sure. I just would like to add on a little bit to what Judge Grai has mentioned about the participants. When we designed the group, we intentionally make sure that the participants comprises people from outside, and there were also an intention to make sure that participants part of the teams are actually people within the court system as well, because we have tons of, innovation bootcamp like this, and then many times we have great ideas, and then after the final presentation, nothing happens. The people who owns the project could not really, take it forward. So the participation from the internal staff really helped to move things forward, and that was pretty much by design with the intention of the leadership of the court as well. Now, let me share with you a little bit more on the process. So Lukit came into the picture at the beginning of the program together with TIJ and the Court of Justice. And we know nothing about the justice system. We have been around for almost 10 years and basically was mainly working with the private sector, like banks, hospitals. We are, in different parts of the world, but, the work that we're doing are really mainly with the private sector. So when we came in, we was quite, clueless about where to start. And honestly, we have been working with many different organization that is, government organizations or the nonprofit sector. I would say the court is probably one of the very few that actually take it to the deeper levels and actually focus on execution and not just, training just for the sake of training. So I do feel that the leadership that Judge Grai and Tan Pao have created here really was one of the secret sauce as to how things could move forward for this long, because it was really much action oriented, and putting in the right people, making sure that things get executed was really much the key of how things happen. Now, what you can see behind me and also on the slide for the guests that have joined us online is an overview of the sessions. There's a lot of details on the slide, but what I want to share is we were meeting on a weekly basis every Saturday morning from like 9 to noon. Usually I would say no to weekends workshops because I would like to spend time with my family, but the ambitions and the energy everyone brings, like, they travel, like we mentioned, from different parts of the countries to join, and then they were super excited. Judge Grai mentioned that we have one stewardess participant who would fly every weekend, and then she will make sure that she schedule her time so that she will be in Bangkok that weekend for the sessions. So we have a really cool groups of people who were super active, and they were quite open to share their ideas. So we met in February last year, about this time last year, and the whole program lasts until April. And every session was about getting them to know about the process of design, making sure that they understand how they would empathize with their stakeholders, making sure that they go talk to people, be it the internal staff within the court system, or also, people, the population who actually need help. The bigger themes around the whole thing was about creating access. So we were making sure that they actually talk to people who feel that they need more access to the court. That includes, people outside of Bangkok. It includes people with disability, people who might not understand digital tools and need help filling in the form, for example. So if you look at the process, we started off with, talking about designing, getting people to interview people. And then we have this big brainstorming session where participants from within the program and also from outside were invited to come and share ideas. So the whole project was not just a lecture where they just come and learn about design thinking. It was all project-based. So we were working on the 6 projects, and we were making sure that each of the team get mentorships and advice from the right people who can make them understand more about the core system and its limitations. Given the fact that people are from different parts of the society, like not just people in the court. So one of the constraints that we have, I think, is the fact that they might not understand the context of how the system works. They might not know that there are certain things that the court cannot do. They might not know that certain things would require a lot of time. So making sure that people inside the system can actually share with them, the constraint, make it a little bit more realistic in the idea generation stage as to how we could move things forward. So it involved not just interviewing, idea generation. All the teams actually get their ideas together, go back and test with the users or the stakeholders. And then we ended up with this very big conference, a casual one where everyone kind of have this exhibition where they share their ideas and the proposal that they have to the court, and that was made to the public so that they get to share their projects with people within the public as well to come and see. So the whole thing was actually just 8 sessions, but there were a lot of homeworks in between. And I think how the whole design was done, if I were to go back to what Greg has mentioned about institution-led versus people-led, I think this slide here probably convey what both of us have been trying to say, right? So many times when we do things that is institutional-led, we have problems in mind, and then it's probably easy to just think of solution within our meeting rooms, for example. But in this entire process of design thinking, where we try to go back to the people, we spend a lot of time with the white triangle that you see on the slide, talking to people, understand their limitation, not just the people outside of the system, but also the staff inside the court system. Because we believe that if we spend those times trying to really understand the problems, we would be able to identify the right problem, also relevant constraints, and by doing so, we would come up with more sustainable and relevant solution. So by trying to people to go back to the lens of empathy, understanding the people, whoever they are, people with disability, senior citizen, people who don't know digital tools and services, those are one of the approach that we have been trying to convey along the program that we have been together with the participant. Now, if you talk about the process of design thinking, it's actually very simple. We always start with empathy, like I mentioned, and then we make sure that we spend time coming up with crazy solution. But, regardless of how crazy the solution are, you always have to go back to prototyping and testing, making sure that it actually works and gathering feedback. So this entire process of using the heart to understand people, using the head to come up with different solutions, and actually putting some hand-on experience, testing and getting feedback. These are the different pillar of exercises that participants were working on throughout the couple of months that we actually spent together. This afternoon, we'll be doing a mini workshop where we'll be going through some of these mindset, a very quick one just to get us, in the mood of doing something together in a workshop format. But that was pretty much the lens and the mindset behind the exercise that we did. Now, I think we have been sharing, simply verbally about the whole design the activities, and I thought it might actually make sense for us to really see the actions, like
We prepare like a video clip of all the process, all the activities that we have done during the 8 weeks of the Justice by Design project. And could you share the video clip of the activities?
So this is what happens. Let me move a little bit in case I'm blocking this.
Thank you so much. I think this video could help us to see, like, even though it's not a good quality because it's not that clear, but it would help you see what we have been through during the project of Justice by Design. We brainstorm, we trying to understand what the court user really need. We conduct like a lot of interviews with the court users, and I think I had a talk with the court officer and the judges that joined in this project, and they all said that they have learned something that they didn't expect before, like a lot of insights that they didn't know that they have this barrier in our court system, like that. It's pretty good, and I think for the presentation of each group, we would have in the next session, we're gonna have like the participants themselves to join with us and share what they did and what solution they provide for the people, for the Court of Justice to implement. And I think after the project, we got like 6 solutions to each problems, and we pass it. We pass it to the Court of Justice, and the office of the judiciary themselves, they said that they would be trying to implement this idea as much as possible. And right now we have already implemented some ideas. We trying to like redesign our online court form, you know, in different like platform that we have. And I think we have to wait for the feedback from the people and see what they are more satisfied with the online court form that we redesign or not. And another implementation that we already made is we add the accessibility tools in our website, because a lot of people they said that some of the court user, they access to the court website and they could not easily read the text within the website because they got some kind of like partially lost their vision, something like that. That is why we add the accessibility tool that people can like adjust the font size, adjust color of the website, something like that, to easier for people to access to the court website. And also we also implement the idea of online self-litigate probate case. And when people want to request file their probate case, they can do it by themselves without the need to come into the court. They can get the court order, and you know, they can handle everything online without coming to the court and without going to find the legal representation. They can do it by themselves. That is the thing that the Court of Justice has already implemented, the idea that comes from the Justice by Design project. And we are willing to pursue, we are willing to do more the design thinking process. And we are going to apply it to our daily work as well. And as you probably see the news in the Court of Justice Facebook page, we apply the design thinking process to adjust, to modify our e-filing system and e-hearing system, and to make it easier for the court user, for the stakeholders to get. And that is our attempt to, I would say it's our journey, it's story during the journey in the long, you know, journey in the people-centered or the user-centered justice. And at least, like I mentioned earlier, the change is in the air right now, and it's going to take time, probably 10 to 20 years. But at least we have already kickstart several projects based on the idea of the people center. We already shift our mindset, and we are trying to expand this idea to every single corner of the Court of Justice of Thailand. And we will see probably in the next 5 years, we're gonna look back and see how far we can go. And yeah, I'm glad to share the story of Justice by Design project with all of you. And we hope that this idea of the design thinking project, this idea of the way we implement the people-centered policy would inspire all of you, not just from Lao PDR, but from other countries that join us online today. If you have good stories from your side and your practice, your experience in building the more people-centered court, we are here, and we will want to hear you as well. Okay, Kunmei, you have something to add?
No, I have nothing to add. I think we have maybe like 10 minutes before the break, and I think maybe we can just open it up for questions or comments, or exchange of ideas. Yeah, if there's any questions.
Yeah, anyone want to share or your feeling or the comment, please do.
It can be in Thai, it can be in English.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
You can have my mic.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you both of you to presentation and interesting for and useful for the Lao PDR. It is the first time I will look to the project is very good. It have this project, but I would like to say about the initiative to start about this design is how to start. I hear that to presentation about 200 people to participate in the project. How to deposit or how to survey or to is something like that. I would like to know about how to start because we have the idea to start in Lao also. Thank you very much.
That would be great. That's a good news, right? And I think the most important thing we have to tell you is that first we have to let the executive buy in the idea of people-centered justice. That's a very important thing. And like I mentioned earlier, we are pretty fortunate. Justice by Design project, it happens because of the policy of the Chief Justice. And second, we have to like set up the team, our team inside the organization to facilitate the project, right? And then we are trying to like spread the words, like calling for the application in every channel, every platform. We are trying to like call for the application, and yes, I think we just said something straightforward. We just for the Thai court, we admit that, hey, we have a lot of problem. We have a lot of challenge that need your idea to help address, and we said that if you join us, you will learn the design thinking process, and we will like together we will get through this process and build the more people-centered court together, or something like that. I just try to spread the word to the public. And I think the people themselves, I mean, the court user themselves, that they are facing with the problem, they have some kind of desire to change everything that they see, and they probably join, and 200 applicants is more than we expect. We got like 200 applications, and we have to cut some of them off and select just like 42 people that can join, because that's the number that we can handle.
Yeah.
Right. And after that, we just plan. Could you share a little bit about the plan,
Yeah.
how to prepare for the design thinking?
So I think for me, as someone external, I was actually quite surprised by the number, to be honest, because I've done tons of innovation bootcamp for companies, and sometimes if a CEO asks for people to join in that innovation team, most of the time people will not raise their hands. They'll be like, I already have a lot of work. I don't want to come on Saturdays, right? So that always happened with the private sector. But when we learned that we actually get 200 participants, I think one thing that was really clear to me was people are actually looking for a space where they can actually share their thoughts. And for a lot of the participants, that was an opportunity where they can actually say something. So we have internal staff who have ideas to share, and they have struggle and pains with some of the process, and they would like that opportunity. We have, people like from the public who are in the court system, and they are struggling with part of the process. So I feel that if you design it in such a way that this is an opportunity where you can actually make change to how things are, I think people would be more interested rather than just trying to say, oh, this is design thinking, come and learn design thinking. It's about them, right? It's about making their life easier. So I think framing the problem is probably one of the reasons. And I would agree that leadership was really the key. Honestly, I think I really have to credit Judge Grai for his agility. He's super fast. Like we talk about the program one day, the next day the poster is out, like for like, and he tests, and he himself is a good mind thinking practitioner because he tests, it doesn't work, and he have like tons of different versions of the poster, and he'll see which one really worked best, right? And I don't see that even with the private sector themselves. So I think the team here was super agile. Like they get feedback and then they utilize social media. I was surprised how active the the Thai court Facebook is. Like there's tons of people like answering questions. Like recently we did a design project and then we launched a prototype for people to give feedback. And then we told them that if they provide feedback, they'll get a water tumbler. And we got like 200 participants wanted to share ideas and also want to get the water bottles.
Yeah.
But it just shows that people are super interested to share ideas. So I do feel that if we frame it in a positive lens and making sure that people feel that they will benefit from this, I think we might actually get a lot of participants.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
probably the most important thing from the internal view,
Yeah.
I think it is the thing that it's pretty difficult for the court to admit that there's something wrong in the system, in their service, in the system. But the people themselves, they complain, and you have to admit that, yeah, there's something wrong in our services. Could you please tell us? We will provide you a stage for exchanging or expressing your idea or your like everything, what you think is the best for the court you can propose in this project. That is the key, I think. I believe that if the court let the people know that we know that something is wrong, please help us. That's gonna help. Yeah.
The complaints that we get was not like, I don't want to participate. I think the complaints that we get was, I signed up, why didn't you call me?
Yeah.
It was more like that.
Yeah.
For me, it was quite surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Thank you. First of all, thanks so much for the opportunity, to invite our delegates to hear, the very success story from our Thai counterpart. So I guess it's not really the questions, maybe my observations, and also try to think through, the story that you walked us through. When, it seemed to me that this process is really the long process. And also you really need a good team. You start from the leaders, and also, you really have good hands within the course itself. So I'm thinking on how that when you identify the problems, like I said, it's a long process. And after that, if the problems, or people who concerned with those challenges have not taken further. So I think that's also create another challenge, for your reputation, and that the first part. And also when you mentioned about the system itself in the court, when people are faced change, we have your institutional arrangement. They think that it's good enough already. When you try to solve this problem, and then you will find another problem, and you will find another bucket, or the challenge. So that's, I think, is quite difficult, to address. So if you can share further a little bit on how you handle with this challenge, that would be great. Thank you.
I have one quick answer to that, and maybe you can add on. I think the fact that we pulled in people from outside really helps. Because out of the 40 plus participants, not all of them the court. Some of them are startup owners. Some of them work with research institutions. Some of them have, like myself, know nothing about the court system. So the fact that we don't know was actually a plus, because we asked some funny and maybe stupid questions, when those questions sometimes trigger some other ways of thinking and framing things in a different lens. So I think having external people joining into the mix was quite helpful
Yeah,
in that sense.
Pretty helpful. And
Yeah.
and I think, as you mentioned, it is 8 weeks project. It's pretty long. and we have to keep the energy up every single week, because the energy is gonna like drop week by week, something like that. But I think the thing that we pretty successful is that we combine the team member, we combine like people from different like background, different ages. You have people that they are like a students, and you have like aging people, a little bit aging people, inside, outside, like Kun May said. I think the combination of the team is important to have like to add some kind of energy and some creativity within the group. I think that's a key. Yeah. And do you have any other like questions or want to share? Okay. And I think it's like it's actually it's time to have a coffee break, but we can discuss further during the coffee break.
So I think after the break, what we will hear more is we are the people who manage the project, right? But
Yeah.
I think it's probably more fun to actually hear from the project team themselves. And I think that's exactly what's gonna happen
Yeah.
after the first break that we're gonna have this morning.
All right.
Uh,
All right.
Would do you have anything else to add? Yeah, I'll hand it over to our MC.
The room is really cozy and it's just hard to find a way to get back to where I belong. Thank you very much, Jashka and Kunmei, for sharing with us a captivating journey of such an innovative initiative to advance the judicial system by encouraging public participation in incorporating the needs of the people to ensure that court services are actually accessible and effective in answering the people's needs. This initiative marks a great beginning towards making the justice system truly people-centered, but it is only just the beginning. The challenge now is, how can we ensure that the spirit of people-centered justice continues and that innovative approach like this sustain and spread across the region and world? That is something we will unpack over the course of this event. But before we dive in any further, let's take a 30 minutes coffee break. Refreshments will be served outside of this room, and we will reconvene at 10:45 sharp. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. Earlier, we heard from the organizers of Justice by Design Thailand about how the initiative came about and was implemented. Now, for this session, let's hear from the participants who shed blood, sweat, and tears to redesign the court services through the initiative. There will be two sections to the first unconference session. First, participants from the Justice by Design Thailand will share with us the projects they worked on, the insights they gathered during the process, and how those insights were translated into recommendations to redesign court services. Second, we will learn about how the people-centered approach was implemented in other systems in the region. Two distinguished speakers before we open up for a Q&A at the end. Without further ado, please allow me to introduce our distinguished speaker and them onto the stage, which they already are. นางสาวณัชยาเชี่ยวชาญ lawyer and project manager from the representative from the Pink team. คุณสมนัส สิทธิ์เจือศรีคุณ director of TIJ Academy from the Thailand Institute of Justice, representative from Red team. นางสาวทิติพร วิเศษนคร probation officer and representative from the Green team. And Honorable Judge Kampai Sayasuk, Deputy Director General of Technical Management, Court Statistics, People's Supreme Court of Lao PDR, who will join us from the second session. And Honorable Yi Yi Lee, Judge from the Constitutional Court of ROC Taiwan, who is joining us online. Thank you all for joining us on the panel today. May I start with the Pink team, our winning team and a recipient to the Popular Vote Award. The Pink team was challenged with a prompt: how might we reduce the digital gap to increase access to justice? Kunachaya, can you walk us through who your target users were? What insights did you gain about users and suggestions to ensure that the court services are truly accessible to them.
Hello, everyone. The theme of our group is how to solve the digital gap in people access to justice system. In order to tackle this question with the design thinking process, we firstly needed to understand all of the user of justice system before we jumping to the issue of the digital gap. We have spoken to หน้าถัดไปได้เลยค่ะ Okay. We have spoken to over 40 users ranging from respondent, complainant, community leader, prosecutor, lawyer, judge, and person with disability. All of them have been in touch with judicial process at different points from the beginning to the end. We have identified a few problems in those who use the court electronic filing this system, e-hearing system, and court website. หน้าถัดไปได้เลยค่ะ Okay. Two users that strike at were those with physical challenge in said court, both physically and digitally. One of the testimony we received was that any of us can become disabled on given day. หน้าถัดไปได้เลยค่ะ Okay. This process had led our team to focus on the universal asset to the digital service of the court. If a person with challenge can access those services, this means that anyone can also access those services as well. No one will be left behind. ไปเปลี่ยนไปได้แล้วค่ะเปลี่ยนไปเลย Okay, according to the official statistics, in Thailand, there are nearly 200,000 people with visual impairment. Thailand is aging society and more than 12 million persons would need visual assistance. One of the issues list เปลี่ยนสไลด์ได้เลยค่ะ Okay. One of the issue raised by the user who are visually impaired lawyer was that the court website not friendly with user who need screen like reader, the pop-up, the user of a lot of image. The electronic stamp were not designed to be compatible with screen reader function on computer or mobile phone. หน้าถัดไปได้เลยค่ะ Okay, we therefore look specifically on the website of the Court of Justice. We try to focus on the universal design that would make the website more compatible with universal standard. This is lawyer by the, okay, next, okay. There are web content accessibility guidelines that are used on website to ensure that people with visual challenge can browse the website with no obstacle. This include pen text reader of the contents. หน้าถัดไปได้เลยค่ะกด3 ครั้งได้เลย Okay. This include pen text reader of the content, font size adjustment, spacing, color contrast adjustment. These are features that will help people with eye problems to be able to use the website more easily. It is used on the website of the court in other jurisdictions such as Australia and the United States. หน้าถัดไปได้เลยค่ะ Okay. We had the opportunity to speak to the court website administrator about this function. You were told that this function has not been turned on for the court website, but it can be turned on very easily. We just didn't think about it, said administrator ถัดไปได้เลยค่ะ Okay. Okay. By enabling the website accessibility function, we would be able to picture which were told the administrator หน้าถัดไปได้ค่ะ Okay. By enabling the website accessibility function, we would be able to respond to the challenge facing by the court on digital gap. Use the design thinking process to address the issue and seek solution. Be people-centric. Provide a tangible and quick solution. หน้าถัดไปได้เลยค่ะ Okay. Our team is proud that the court has taken our proposal and now made the accessibility function available on the court website. เปลี่ยนหน้าถัดไปได้เลยค่ะ โอเคเปลี่ยนไหมคะ This is exam accessibility tool in a website called yes now is available you can try หน้าถัดไปได้เลยค่ะ แล้วก็ we believe that it's more change that make big impact thank you
Thank you so much, Kunatria, for sharing with us her project from the Pink team on redesigning court website to increase accessibility to information. It's really cool to hear that the Pink team start with extreme users, or that's the term we use in the design field, I guess. But extreme users are who are most vulnerable to the problem. And in this case is those people who have disabilities. Believe that if we start with the extreme users and if the system, the service is friendly to them, enough for them to use, everyone else can use it as well. Thank you so much. Now, let's turn to the red team, who was also tasked with a challenge to increase access to justice through court services for those who may lack know-how or tools like technology. Kun Somanat, can you tell us what were the problems that the users who lack knowledge and necessary tools to access court services were facing, and what your team suggested the court do to make their service easier to access?
Thank you very much. And first of all, I would like to thank you for having me today. It's my honor to see you guys and share what we have done in our team. Okay. In the beginning, I would like to introduce my team. We have 6 members, and we come from totally different background. Some they are lawyers and some judges, and one she is a housewife too. So, and the other one from technology company. So we really enjoyed the variety and the ideas from people from different background. And
the slides is just a little slow, so please bear with us.
okay, okay. Sorry for the delay. From the starting point, we got like a big problem from the organizer that my team, I have to work with the theme less digital gap, and we were a bit struggle in the beginning what that is mean and how to begin our team project. So we start with small focus groups. We try to get as much as information from people in this area to learn about what the court system work in that time. And we interviewed 3 court user like plaintiffs and defendants. And then we also have an interview with one public prosecutor. one lawyer, one court clerk, and one court information desk staff in order to get as much as information when they contact with the user, how they feel and how they learn from the user and what's the struggling point of user in the system. And we come up with 4 different persona. The first one that I will mention is about Mr. Hopeless. Mr. Hopeless, we start with what he needs. He needs support for resolving and set the dispute because the lack of knowledge, reliable legal advisor. So he cannot find any reliable source when he needs to enter the court procedure or court proceeding. But he had no clue about the court support system at all. And no one recommend trying the service at the initial stage, the first touching point for his court proceedings. It seemed not very easy to access. And I have several quotes from him. He said that he needs advice on dispute mediation from court personnel. And also when he faced a dispute, when facing a dispute, he expects to find reliable information from the official court websites rather than online law firm website or ad or web boards. The next one, we call her Miss Anxiety because she told me that when the summons was delivered to her house, she didn't read anything due to the feeling of anxiety. She was so nervous and feel really bad. And she said why she have no prior knowledge about court mediation service at all. So what she needs is the way to deal with the court proceeding properly, because she believed that thorough preparation before entering court proceeding is crucial for safeguarding her rights, her fundamental rights. But upon receiving the court summons, as I said before, and facing the other party in the courtroom, she felt panic and made impulsive decision without true consideration, leading to a regrettable outcome, unfortunately. The third persona, we call her Miss Attempt and Uphill Task. What she needs is she aims to resolve the conflict. Sorry, okay. She aimed to resolve the conflict as quickly as possible. Because attending court proceedings caused a lot of effects on her life, both in forms of direct and also indirect cause. But she had no choice, must follow the other party's request. She said that I choose to settle the dispute with the party according to their terms, opting to avoid court proceedings, even though it ended up costing my significantly more. And also she said that traveling to the district office for legal advice proved costly. So I opted to have the village leader handle the dispute settlement instead. And the last one, we call him Mr. No Wi-Fi. No Wi-Fi. Because he said that I don't have proper electronic devices for scanning, uploading all documents and joining video calls. What he needs is a smooth execution of online court proceedings. But he faced a lot of technical problems due to his broken Wi-Fi signal and complicated process. He does not want to use the digital court service anymore. So after we learn from our interviewee, we come up with our problem statement that how might we leverage technology to enhance access to justice to individuals who face barrier, for example, lack of knowledge, lack of electronic devices. And our aims, we have two aims. The first one, we try to develop a more user-friendly initial contact point for the court of justice. And the second is we try to bridge the gap between e-court services and individual lacking access to both court and technology. So I want you to see the first proposal idea for our solution. This is the court summon, and nowadays, the office of the Court of Justice sent this summon and hang it in front of the doorway of the defendant's house or place, apartment, and this kind of very formal kind of psychological effects to the people. Someone don't even want to touch it, and they don't understand at all what it says. And we try to make it more user friendly by having like cover page for the summon, and we introduce them that if you want any kind of support, you can access to court services, and we provide them several access to the court services. For example, they can scan the QR code and access the court website. And also we provide them a hotline, one single kind of one-stop service for the court user. And also in Thailand, the Line application is very popular and very spread out. So we encourage them to add the Line official account of the Court of Justice officials too, so that they have several options or alternative ways to access or prepare themselves before going to court or enter the court proceeding. And the next proposal of our team, we have seen that in the courtroom already have per electronic for doing the hybrid court proceeding. For example, the screen, very big screen, the camera, the video, and also the internet router. So we think that it would be great if we could pack all of these things into one mobile unit and make it movable to people who live in the rural area. So that our idea, like we would design a bus to be like a mobile court smart service, and go to see the people instead of waiting like inactive and waiting for them to access the justice by themselves. We believe that if we can provide this kind of mobile unit and go to the nearest area of the defendant or the user of the court service, they can have easier access to the service, the public service too. And inside of the bus, we already provide them the digital cord access, the Wi-Fi router, very strong one. And maybe we can also have like legal advice service combined with this kind of this bus too. And we will go to see them with a very professional staff in the bus so they can kind of be their assistants to link to the courtroom too. So that's all that's all of our proposal from the red team.
Thank you so much, Kansomanat, for sharing with us the work of the Red Team. Amazing. And also very interesting of how you started with a very detailed 4 personas of Mr. Clueless, Ms. Anxious, Ms. Atom, and Upper Task, and Mr. No Wi-Fi, to inform how to redesign court services in a way that truly empathize with the users. While the pink and red team had specific target groups they were working with, the green team was faced with a challenge that would affect mostly everyone. The green team was challenged with a prompt: how might we empower people to become more self-reliant in using court services? Kun Tiliporn, can you tell us what type of case was the green team working on to increase self-represented litigation? What insights did you find, and what were the suggestions the team came up with to empower the court users?
Yes, of course. Thank you so much. And thank you again for having me today. First, let me introduce my teammates. Unlike pink team and red team, the green team consists of all of the legal background, like people who have knowledge in law. We have law professor, we have court officers, we have probation officers here, and we have law master student. So in terms of, the law, we have like more knowledge and how the court system or system in Thailand works. However, what we still need more about to lead under the theme independence is, what about the other side? What about people who don't have legal background or who don't relate it to law in their life? So our idea is how to make people without legal knowledge be confident how to manage the things that related to that. What should be our issue? What should be our topic? Because nowadays Thailand is facing many legal issues that people are facing, like scammers or fraud or like customer cases. We're still like drawing and have no idea what to do. But after we were introduced and known about the design thinking, we just gather ideas from our team members, and then we interview the users. Can be divided into 2 groups. The first group of our users are judges. We choose senior judge, and he gave our answer about he would like to see in the future about the technology that helps people be accessible to the justice system. The second group is, ordinary people with no legal background. She is one who was facing the scams case, and she had to hire an attorney, and she feels that the justice system in Thailand is too complex for her. She cannot understand anything. She faced legalese, or the law language that she didn't understand at all. So to make sure that she win the case or her case would be successful, she decided to hire a lawyer, which, if someone can be independent, they have to make sure that they can do it by their own self. So we just gather our idea again and revise what issue is the closest things that related to our people life. So we think about money, and we think about life of people, and we combine these 2 issues together, and it becomes estate management or moradok in Thai language. When some people died, they left something like property or their things around, and how about their sons and daughter or their relatives? some of people like, like ordinary family, they have no idea what to do after their family member passed away. So our idea is how to make this process easier. So we designed the project Moradok Plus or Estate Plus to help facilitate people to access the estate management process easier. We designed in two forms, online and offline. In online, we are so happy that the court the Court of Justice applied our idea to I think it's like an application or the website that help people can manage or like send the complaint or the request to manage their estates after their relative passed away. And our another idea is the offline, that is the document, which without legalese, to help people understand more about what should they do next after their relative passed away, and who that they will go to ask for help or to help them like manage all the documents that used to be like too difficult for them to understand, which will make them like, need less lawyers and help them be more confident about how to manage this case. So we are also happy that our project is, the inspiration for the court and apply them nowadays. I think that's all for our project today.
Thank you so much, Khun Thitiphorn, for sharing with us the work of the Green Team. I can contest to the success of the Green Team a little bit from a user perspective, because recently my father had to go that process, and mother has no background in law. His background is furthest away from the law, and also his first language is not Thai. So if the system, the e-filing system, with the ideas of the Green Team was easy enough for someone like my dad whose Thai isn't as strong to navigate and successfully went through the system and filed not the complaint, but the request to take care of his mother's asset, I think it is a success, definitely. Thank you so much. I think although the pink and the red and the green team all worked on different challenges that users face with court services, they all have the same goal, which is to make court services people-centered to ensure that it is accessible to all and leave no one behind. So thank you again, all representatives of the team of Justice by Design Thailand. You may now take a rest off the stage, and then we can begin the second section of the session. But I'll invite you back up again for the Q&A session. So don't worry, if you have any questions to them, they'll come back. They will stick around. Thank you so much. Now, I'm sure that the Thai court is not alone in implementing a people-centered approach in the judiciary. So section 2, we will hear from other countries about how they adopted a people-centered approach in their judicial systems. Let me invite, start with you, Honorable Yi Li, who is joining us from Taiwan online.
Hi.
Hello,
Hi.
can you hear us well?
Yes. Is my voice clear?
Yeah, perfect. Can you tell us about how Taiwan courts has adopted the people-centered approach and transformed the court to ensure not only its inclusivity, but also accessibility?
Okay.
You have the floor, Judge Yi.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, our MC, and I want to thank the organizer, the COJ of Thailand and the UNDP for having me here. So I'm very excited to hear the presentations of all the participating teams. They are very interesting and innovative. So I would like to share some experience from Taiwan, how we implement the idea of first of all making the justice, the judicial system more inclusive, and then ended up with making it more accessible. So I will share my slides from my site. Okay, I believe it's up. Okay, first of all, I would like to share my 10 minutes will cover two things. So the first thing is the citizen judges region, which only entered into force last year. So this is a very new and I can say that it's the biggest reform of the judicial system during the past 2 decades. And the second thing I will cover, which is a very interrelated thing with the former one, is disabled people's access to the court. So I will start with the citizen judges region. So what I'm showing you here is the homepage of the website that introduces the new system to all our citizens, that now it is relevant. Now the judiciary is very relevant to every one of you, because this region is trying to enhance the inclusivity of the judiciary by adding the perspective from outside of the judiciary, from the people into how the bench is composed. So this is about including people with no law knowledge into the bench. And you can see from the image, the idea will be expanding our existing bench from originally three professional judges to 6+ citizen judges who have no legal background. And for now, this is only applicable to very limited cases. So only criminal cases which are very serious with death result will apply this new region. But despite the scope of applicability is very small, still very small for now, but the impact is huge. So basically all parties in the law society and the society of Taiwan is involved. So according to the law, now every adult who is older than 23 years old will be listed in the potential list of citizen judges. So it's now relevant to everyone. So this is a huge change. So in order to implement this change, the highest judicial administration in Taiwan, that is called the Judicial Yuan, we have to make many preparations. So the preparations include examination of whether our court interior, our court infrastructures can be accessible enough for including all these court participants. And the other thing is, are our procedural rules accessible and inclusive for all our participants? So the first thing about the procedural rules is very complicated because it involves enabling those non-lawyers to understand the case and assess the evidence and so on and so forth without imposing excessive burden on them. So this is another topic that deserves another presentation, so I will not focus on that. So my presentation will focus on the second thing, the infrastructure. So in order to make our infrastructure accessible and being able to accommodate as many as possible the participants to join the court proceedings, this is a great opportunity for the Judicial Yuan to revisit all our court designs. We all know that the interiors of court, once it's built, once it's set, it is almost impossible to change. So this is a great opportunity to revisit everything. So in order to come up with a new design principles, the decision makers, the judicial yuan, they refer to not only the CRPD, the universal design principles, but they also consulted the disabled users, and they come up with one principle that applies to all the courts in Taiwan. So all the courts in Taiwan now has at least one courtroom that fits all the principles. So on the slide you can see that the door of the courtroom must be wide enough, and the aisle must be wide enough to allow all the wheelchairs to go around every corner. And also every courtroom must be equipped with hearing assisting devices. And in some case, when the court participant needs a sign language interpreter, the court has to hire one and assign one. And also the court has to equip it with visual assisting devices to meet the need of all the disabled court participants. And what is more important, which is bringing the issue of accessibility back to inclusivity, is that we need to address the need of the potential citizen judges who may have disabilities. So the citizen judges region has changed the picture of how a judge should look like. So I must note that according to our current effective law, all people who are older than 23 years old, even though they have disabilities, will have the possibility to be citizen judges. And without concrete reasons, they cannot be precluded. So we need to think for those judges. We need to think not only the courtroom, restricted to the open area open to people, but also the bench area that is for the purpose of the judges. So as you can see in my slide at the top, this is the one person who is blind. He volunteered to be one of the citizen judge in the one moot court, which took place before the entry into force of this region. So we encourage all people with all conditions to be in the bench. So therefore, as you can refer to my slide at the bottom, so this is the area of the bench. This is the bench area, and this is a view from the entrance of the judges. So this area has to be wide enough and flat to allow the wheelchair to come in, and even the assisting people to come in to assist any citizen judges with disabilities. So what I can share from the Taiwan's experience is that we have gone through a process of discussing the need. So this slide shows an example of how we discuss who can be let into the deliberation room versus citizen judges. So the question come up as one visual impaired group proposing that some of the blind people may need a visual assistant to read out loud some materials for them. Therefore, this visual assistant may be a necessary accompanying person. So this person should be allowed in this deliberation room for citizen judges. But the issue is the law says any deliberation should be restricted to the judges, but the assistant person is not the judge. So So this comes out of the need for communication. So the decision maker proposed, they asked, so would there suffice if we provide a device, a visual assisting device, for example, a read out loud computer? Would that suffice? And the visually impaired group answered, in some cases, it might be good enough, but in other cases, when the material is printed out or is handwritten, it might not be good enough. So after that communication and debating, it comes up as this is an issue of a law, not only an issue of implementation. In fact, so we have to think about whether we should amend the law. So in the end, we did. So the law was amended in the way that once a chief judge, it's up to the chief judge's discretion. So if the chief judges consider all the circumstances of the case and the evidence, they consider that this accompanying person is necessary for the citizen judge, then this person will be allowed into the room. Of course, this person has to abide by those a duty of keeping a secret. And I think this is a good journey from first thinking of being inclusive, and then the issue transferred into making it more accessible. So after the 1 year, almost 1 year, the citizen justice region has taken course. The judicial authority, the judicial administration has decided to expand this program to more aspects, broader aspects beyond the criminal cases. So in this picture, you can see this is a huge workshop. The Judicial Yuan invited as many as possible disabled groups to participate in this brainstorming. And in this workshop, within this workshop, which myself took part in, we have lawyers, bar associations, NGOs relating to all particular disabilities, and judges with all expertise of civil matters, juvenile matters, family matters, and administrative matters. We all participated in this room, and you can see this room is the environment and an environment of a forum that has a sign language interpreter and a simultaneous typist. So this is an enjoyable discussion and brainstorming, and from this we benefited a lot. For example, we knew from one deaf NGO, they said that for deaf people, yes, it is good you send out a court summons by mail, by post. We can know the date of the court trial, but it is not so helpful that we notice there's one sentence at the bottom of the court summons says, if you need further information, contact this number. Because for the deaf people, it may be very unfriendly. And we have feedback from the blind group saying that it is good you send court summon, but for the blind people, if you send anything by post, it is very likely this will be confused with bills or flyers. So it would be better that you follow up with a phone call and confirming that it's well received. And in some other cases, it is more relevant to whether we should amend the law. For instance, we already have a system in Taiwan which is called a forensic interviewer. This is particularly for the intellectually disabled victims in the sexual assault cases. So the intellectually disabled group proposed that this is a good system, we should expand it. to more court proceedings. But the question comes back to whether it is fair for whether it's suitable and it's fair for all type of system. And this is a very interesting question, and we can expand we can expand the discussion and discuss whether we should implement whether we should expand the application of this assistance. So I think a little takeaway from Taiwan's experience is that for a court system to be inclusive and accessible, what matters is we have to identify the needs. Of course, user-centered communication is important. It's a crucial thing that we identify the needs. And then we need communication, bilateral and multilateral, to discuss whether it is compatible with the law. And if not, then we need to review whether we need to amend the law. I think these are the main thing that I can share. And thank you very much again for having me. And I'm really looking forward to the following discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Judge Ji, for sharing with us the innovative approaches from Taiwan. They both highlights the importance of the software by ensuring that people's voices are echoed in the judicial process through citizen judges, and also emphasizing the hardware on creating accessible courtroom that accommodates different people's needs. So next, let's move a little closer to home to Lao PDR. May I invite Honorable Kampai Sayasuk onto the stage? Sure. And share with us a little bit about Lao's approach on people-centered justice. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure and honor, and to first time to at this meaningful conference. On behalf of the Lao delegation, I would like to extend deepest appreciation to the Court of Justice of Thailand and UNDP to hosting this event. This event is very important, provide excellent information. We have to get a lot of information from the other presentation, other to participants. I believe that this conference will provide new methodology and the suggestion for advancing to in transformation for the development of the mechanism of the improved cost performance in Lao PDR. The exchange knowledge and experience in the field of the both central court from Thailand and other presentation that's successfully implemented, it will give the Lao improved cost performance in my country. Okay, next slide. Let me to move to presentation and share with the other participant with the 4 points. The first is the cost development plan for the 2021 and 2025. And the second will introduction. And third, the people-centered justice in Lao PDR. The fourth is the challenge to in Lao, and the last recommendation. The next slide. Next slide. Okay, we to the start introduction. The people-centered court justice is the critical and in the designing justice process in Lao PDR. The court system was reformed by the People's Supreme Court in 2009 to promote effective and efficient court to the people. The court system in Lao consists of 4 levels. The first is the People's Supreme Court located in Vientiane, And the People Regional Court, we have to locate in three parts: northern, middle, and the southern of Lao PDR. And the third is the People Provincial Court. If we have in Lao, we have to 18 provincial. And the last, the People Area Court. People Area Court, now we have to 46 People Area Courts in Lao. Okay, the next slide. We also, the PSC, or the People's Supreme Court of Lao PDR, tried to develop its legal framework, legal relation, instruction to the promote effective access to the justice. In 2012, we have to amendment the law on civil case, particularly in 139 article. We have ensured that the right of the case partner in the case proceeding. And we have to create the regulation on upholding the quality of the case proceeding, and also to create the order on the establishment and practice of the court mobile. Court mobile also, we have some lead team to present. We have the big butts. The mobile court in Laos also, we have the idea from the Philippines. The leader of Lao PDR to visit the study in the Philippines in 2020 or 2020. We have to the big bus for to the slogan if the justice of view, and also the leader of Lao, the Supreme Court of Lao, the back, and to create the order of the practice of the court mobile. The next instruction on the people engagement in the court proceeding, and also the fifth court development plan for the 2020 and 2025. This is the framework regulation for to introduce or to the process for to how to the assist the justice and the people to the central in the court. Okay, the next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, I will have to say about some example relating to the people central justice in Lao PDR. I also explained we have the mobile to provide the court service to the people. In Thailand also we have the big bus, and Philippines also we have the big bus for to move to the people for the mediation or the hearing or the handle the case. But in Laos, no have the big for to move, but we have to the judge to move to the handle the hearing in the case in the district also. We have the bus. Maybe in the future we have the big bus for to move to the future to assist the people to courtly. Okay, then we have to cross leadership to the court office to provide introduction to the court user. I also we have to the court officer or the judge to provide introduction to the court user or to the party or litigation to the court user in the to introduce about the process of the court proceeding, the step how to file the petition, or how to file in the court form, and so you have to. And so we have increased the people area cost where cost service can be better provide. I only to talk about the now we have 60 area courts, 46 area court, but now we have to spread off to the right for the people area courts, and so as is a judge of the court area court to support the work in this district for the helping on petition and proceed with the case. The process of the case proceeding and petition have been disseminated through by social media, such as television, website, Facebook page of the court to the people for the better understanding about the court system. Okay, the next slide. Next slide. Okay, we have the handbook for the chart of civil criminal posted in Lao PDA. The first is in court and open and to the denomination of the people. In this chart, we have to the step or the process of the how to filing the petition in the criminal. Also, we have to the start investigation and how to filing to decision on the case. The next slide, please. Okay, we have to the handbook on the how to assess the justice. And so we have the handbook on the justice. Okay. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, that is on for some example for the law for to the people's center justice court or to the assist to the justice in. We have some share with you of us about the challenge for the law PDR. The first is how to learn how to about how to better apply the people's central justice in Laos. We have this project yet for to how to apply the people central justice in the Lao PR. We have to learn from the lesson from the Thailand. Maybe after the Lao delegation to back to my country, we have to decide how to apply the people statistic in Lao is to better. And so we have the second e-court procedure focusing on the petition, counterclaim, and court documents. We have not the e-court. We have a counterclaim petition. We must would like to get the petition or counterclaim. You must to go to the court. If they have to download from the web or to download to the website, in Lao and have yet. And the third, limited resources to apply the people center in justice and e-court. It is the challenge for to how to the people center justice in Lao. Okay, the next slide. Recommendation is very important recommendation for the Thailand or the UNDP to support the Lao. You have not experienced. The first is the conduct training on the people's center to the judge and the court official. Because I look, we have some many team like red team, pink team, or yellow team. It's very useful for how to we must to training the judge or the court official how to people the course and develop the handbook how to apply people center justice in justice the process. We have also in Thailand we have to the handbook like this method for the Lao. It's very important. Lao also we have an idea. You have to the handbook handbook for this, the judge how to know official, court official how to know to the people central court in justice. The next. Okay, that's all for my presentation, and we asked about, we have the not experience for the Lao. Okay, I guess that myself and my colleague from Lao to attend in this study, we need to work hard to help our country to improve its in the field of the people centered justice, particularly the Court of Justice. We want to learn from the Court of Justice in Thailand. I am trust that this study will be very beneficial one and helpful solution for my country, as well. We are gaining the knowledge from to participants and get the useful experience from this. Finally, I would like to thank the organizing committee and the Court of Justice of Thailand, as well as the UNDP, for giving the Lao delegates opportunity to participate in the conference. I wish you all the best health and prosperity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Judge Kampai Sayasuk, for sharing with us Lao's initiatives. It's always exciting to hear the innovative initiatives that other judiciaries are doing. Please don't leave us. You can take the seat on their stage for a Q&A session, and may I invite our representatives from the teams back onto the stage too for Q&A session. So now we have about 10 minutes for any questions that you may have. We'll bring the mic to you also. And for online participants, if you have a question, you can use the raise your hand function, and we will facilitate that as well. Any questions for our speakers?
Thank you very much. Thanks for all the speakers, who share how you can work with the Court of Justice team, I guess, because you have different team. And I just want to know further, you also have the key person from the Court of Justice who really help you to decide this also. And then they can take off the solutions that you suggest to them further. And you give us a little bit on how you engage them and how you convince them, to make sure that the change should be there in order, to provide the best benefit for all people, and especially, to reflect the concept of people-centric justice.
Thank you very much for your question. In my team, the red team, we have one member from the Court of Justice. She is judge. Actually, she is quite open-minded already, so that's the reason why she joined the program. However, we also make some interview with the judges, official staff, the court staff, and ask them what's happening nowadays and what's their pain point and what's the user pain point, so that we can share them and we can learn from them, not share, sorry. And also we can share them the point of view from the user as well, that we learn from the people that what's their obstacle or what is the barriers for them in order to access to justice. So sometimes, for example, the Court of Justice may say that, oh, we already provide everything for the people. However, it's the problem would be like the implementation or the way the program or the service to the people, maybe they should get more understandable, or have one single message throughout the country, because in some court, in some area may have different way to say or to explain about the service. So they make some people make them confusing sometimes. Yeah.
เชิญค่ะค่ะไม่เป็นไรค่ะ
And for our green team, the interviewee that we asked her for like advice or any ideas that help this have this work. She at first she doesn't think that it will be working, because as we have talked about her feelings and also her trust in the justice system. She said that it's hard for her, but she see the attempt of the Court of Justice that tried to make something new and innovative, more accessible people in the society. So she kind of like my trust is increasing, because I see people like me trying to find a way to help things better. So for our green team, as we ask for like ordinary people without legal background knowledge, she thinks that this project might help other people facing the same problem, and she hopes that it will be improving in the near future.
โอเคค่ะขอเป็นภาษาไทยนะคะโอเคสำหรับสีชมพูนะคะสิ่งที่เราทำจริงๆเราสัมภาษณ์ทุกคนเหมือนกับสีอื่นเราสัมภาษณ์ทุกคนเหมือนกับสีอื่นแต่สิ่งที่แตกต่างออกไปค่ะพอดีเราได้มีโอกาสเจอคนที่เป็นเขาเรียกว่าผู้พิการทางสายตาก็คือเพื่อนสนิทของบีเองที่เป็นทนายความค่ะเราทำงานบริษัทกฎหมายด้วยกันสิ่งที่เกิดขึ้นคือเขาไม่สามารถเข้าถึง accessibility ตรงนี้แล้วก็มันมี success case ของต่างประเทศแล้วเราก็พอดีพี่ทำงานทางด้านเทคโนโลยีด้วยก็เลยคุยกับทีมเทคค่ะคุยทีมเทคแล้วก็คิดว่าจริงมันเปลี่ยนแค่นิดเดียวเพิ่มแค่โค้ดเราจะสามารถช่วยคนแบบเยอะมากๆที่ได้ประโยชน์จากตรงนี้ไม่ว่าจะเป็นคนที่ตาบอดเลยหรือคนที่ตาบอดสีหรือคนแก่ที่สายตาสั้นยาวค่ะดังนั้นทีมเราอะค่ะก็คือเรามีโอกาสโชคดีที่กับคนที่ผู้ใช้งานอันที่สองคือศาลที่เทคโนโลยีของศาลนะคะเข้ามาฟังเราพิชชิ่งด้วยเข้ามาคุยกับเราตั้งแต่ก่อนวันสุดท้ายค่ะก่อนที่เราจะนำเสนอค่ะก็แล้วสุดท้ายค่ะทีมของศาลทั้งหมดค่ะก็นำไปแก้ไขตอนนี้เว็บไซต์ทั่วประเทศไทยของศาลนะคะใช้งาน accessibility tool ตรงนี้ได้แล้วค่ะก็ถือว่าโชคดีที่เจอกลุ่มเป้าหมายแล้วก็ได้รับความอนุเคราะห์จากผู้ใหญ่ทุกคนนะคะทำให้มีการใช้งานตรงนี้ค่ะ
So I'll translate a little bit for those who are not wearing a translation machine. But for the pink team, they were redesigning the court website to become more accessible by adding some features, right? They had a chance to talk to someone working in the tech company, and the insight that they got from that person was that they just needed a little tweak in the website design to add some functions to make it all accessible. So it wasn't a difficult change at all. And then when they presented their project, the court invite their IT team to listen to them as well. So it was a combination of finding the right insights from the users or who are experienced with the service, and also the generosity and the involvement of the court to really make their project happen. Any other question?
This comes for the Laos PDR delegates. First of all, thank you for your very interesting presentation. As for Thailand, we would like to know if Laos have any forward future plan towards electronic court hearing in your country.
Thank you very much for your question. Yes, we have also to plan in the future. We have to electronic hearing. We have to launch the process the start the e-hearing in the course. Okay, we have also my delegation, my team, to have asked for to explain about economics.
Sorry, I'm not the judge myself, but I form UNDP team who work with the judge closely. We have now we preparing the new court project, but of course, with the support from the Changing ASEAN, when UNDP support the work of the court more, we also try to introduce the new concept on the justice by design is really the beginning when the team come here to learn. And then we will come to the next step when we hope that when we go back, we will disseminate this idea even wider. And we hope that we can buy in the leaders and let them believe in change and let them really try to involve more court user, into the work of the court. So that the idea when come to the questions on the court hearing, that's really in the process, like just Kampai mentioned. And I think maybe it can be part of the new project that UNDP will support the Supreme Court, especially to look at the working procedures, the working tools to deliver their service. I think, electronic court hearing can be one of the initiative that we try to support them. It's just the initial stage. But of course, in terms of policy, just, Mr. Kampai mentioned, we have a good policy, we have a good, the court have a good policy, have the good strategy plan. But that's, the challenge is how we apply those, into practice, because these really missions, related to resources, as we still need a lot of support, especially, technical support from the donors. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I add to some. We have also in the fifth depends the cost equilibrium plan 2001 and 2020. We have also to define this about the electronic hearing also that.
Thank you very much. We have time for one last question. Do we have a last question from people in this room or online?
Thank you. This is the question for the delegates from the Lao PDR. Earlier you said about you have a plan for operating a mobile court, which is quite similar to the solution of the red team. This is quite interesting. Could you please elaborate more on your plan to operate on the mobile court? What would be the functions or the perimeters of duties of the mobile court once you operate the mobile court in the remote areas or in wherever that you want to have this operation on, and also the red team as well? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. In Laos also we have to plan. Now we have to plan to buy some bus like Thailand and the Philippines. Some bus to move to the people in the remote areas, for decision or for mediation in the bus also. Okay.
In our team idea, we actually specific on the space rather than the whether it's a bus or not. Maybe we can do that in a temple, for example, or in a government office nearby the area, because actually we found that the Court of Justice already have all the features online. For example, the e-filing system or the COS, right? And for example, you already have all the features ready for uploading or doing the digital court or live proceeding. However, the people out there, they don't have quality electronic devices or very strong signal Wi-Fi, for example, to comply with that access. so that we actually want the Court of Justice to provide the hardware and also fit in with the software that you already have and allow people to use that not by themselves, but with the assistance of the people from the staff from the Court of Justice, so that they can have easier access to that a bit complicated for them program. So that's what we encourage the Court of Justice to do. Yeah.
Thank you. So as we are running out of time, I will have to wrap up this session. Thank you very much for all the questions, and big thanks to our speakers and honorable panelists who joined us for the session today, both in person and online. So before we part, I would like to leave a few key takeaways with you today. First, the heart of people-centered justice is the people. So listen to the users and identify their needs. Second, once you identify their needs, integrate them into the redesign and address them through court services. A lot of parts of the courts are not services are not restrictive by law, like e-filing and communications and etc. So maybe start with low-hanging fruits like those. And lastly, finding the right team champion in the judiciary who share the same beliefs on people-centered justice and are agile in navigating the system to make change is the key. Justice by Design Thailand and what Taiwan and Lao courts are doing are a great start. But to ensure that courts are people-centered and truly leaves no one behind, it requires a collaborative effort and continued efforts.